Hello, Andrew.
That's the countdown for this horrific podcast beginning. Michael goes, Andrew's going to have to intro this. And then as soon as it hits one, he goes, hello. But all right, yeah, just steal the win from my sails. Welcome to the podcast that has no name. Michael Chatfield and I are two authors who are really bad at naming things. We have a podcast where we hang out with our fellow authors, but we don't know what to call it. So if you have an idea, Jez, feel free to toss it in because so far they've all been bad. The worst being Brian Norton's, but that's unsurprising.
That would have been horrific.
Yeah, no, exactly. We're joined today by our good friend Jez, who is an author and a publisher. And we're gonna swap some stories, tell some jokes, and have a good time. Jez, thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having us, guys. It's Saturday night here for me as we're recording this, and I would have to be in the house putting the kids to bed and doing all the usual calming down jobs. And instead, I'm sitting in my office drinking rum. So yeah, I'm good. Hey.
It's a great day for hay.
Basically, it sounds like we did him a solid. Really, we thought he was doing us a solid, but it turns out we did him a solid. Yeah.
Yeah. I had to change the time so that it was just on bedtime, and I was like, I've got to go.
It's really important. Yeah, it's Americans, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, so I don't have kids. But Samuel Jackson's go the fuck go the fuck to sleep. I feel like that is the book for parents in the entire universe. Like,
it really
they listen to that going to sleep or read it, and they're like, I want you to learn some new words today.
Have you heard the story of how that book came to be?
No.
I heard the guy who wrote it. He did a thing on The Moth, which is like NPR's like storytelling thing. And basically, he was a new dad. He's in like a fugue, sleepless state. And he was reading like Goodnight Moon to his kid every night, and his kid would not sleep. And so he wrote that book as a like, I don't know, self-help like poem, like I'm dying, I'm withering from the inside out. And then he showed it to a couple friends, and everybody kept being like, this is great. Like all like the new dads were like, yes, yes, yes. And it like slowly just snowballed to where he like sent it to an agent as a joke, and they were like, yes. And then a publisher immediately was like, yes. And then Samuel L. Jackson saw it and was like, I'd like to read that. And like, so he gets a call that's like, hey, Samuel L. Jackson wants to do like a narration of your book. And he was like, what? I just wrote like this little thing because my kid wouldn't sleep, but like, I guess. And so his whole story is just like, he did this little thing, kind of sent it off into the universe, and it just kept like expanding until it became something ridiculous.
The thing is, it's so accurate as well, because you can hear it in Samuel L. Jackson's voice as he's going through. That whole, like, it's okay. Sick! And that's pretty much every new parent's life, and ongoing, until they leave, apparently.
I don't know why I said yup.
That's never going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know why I said yup, as though I was agreeing. I just was being... Yeah, well, I'm so sorry that you have like a family and like, yeah.
You're a functioning human,
yeah, man.
Degenerates.
Yeah, you're not gonna get sympathy from the YouTuber and the guy who's always in a different room with a blank white wall. Okay.
I mean, he's got.
They're not padded.
That is pretty much you.
What is the art behind you?
I don't know.
Are you in an Airbnb right now? Is that what's going on?
Kind of.
I don't know how that answer is kind of.
I'm in an office.
Or are you in like a...
Did you break in?
No. But there's no one else here. So
yeah, it looks like corporate art. Now I understand.
Yeah.
That or very drunk Lord of the Rings map.
So this is my romantasy.
Yeah.
And this is where it goes downhill. Thank God for rum.
I just finished following Ryan Cahill around Ireland, the UK, for his UK leg of his tour. And
when you leave the continental United States, do you lose geography?
A little.
Yeah, that's Europe, this mystical, wonderful place.
And also like the itinerary was all planned, and we were like going back and forth, right? Like it wasn't like a trip that made sense. Where it was like, we're going to go through it. It's like we have to be at this place on this day and this place on this day. And we have to go, like we went to London and then out of London and back to London. We did a bunch of dumb.
Doesn't make sense. Ryan organized it. And
but
wrong flights.
He did do that. However, the thing that I had to listen to him say every night is somebody would ask about like how his writing journey began. And he'd be like, well, obviously the first thing I did is I studied cartography. And yeah. and every single writer in the room went like, ow. And he's like, I spent months. He's like, I bought all the things because I wanted my world to like make sense. And I studied like why rivers do this and like how settlements grow up around. And I was like, all right.
God.
Right, I want the first map that is actually in the background here. This map of my Underverse, so the first continent on Underverse. I commissioned it, I wrote all the details, got everything done, and it arrived back with me. And I realized I had mixed up West and East. So everything was,
Never
the West
East,
Coast
right?
needs to have like lots of trees, this. The East needs to have this. Yeah, no, back to front. I had to send it back and be like, funny story. Can you start again, please? And she was like, no, can you just change your book? I was like, not really. Bit late for that.
I love how that's her immediate like thought, like, hey, just change it in the book. And you're like,
Yeah.
thousands of intricately linked words where someone is just mentioning, and in the eastern wasteland, it looks like this. And it's actually, holy shit, it's a fuck ton of trees. And you're like, yeah, we might have messed up on this one. Just a bit.
It's even worse because my main way of doing this, right, when I created the map was I pointed out I did a terrible drawing. I mean, it was awful. And then I pointed out, like, this must be here, this must be here, this must be here. Fill in the rest with interesting details. And then when it arrived, I used that map to put in locations. I was like, this works well.
Tell me you're a pantser without telling me you're a pantser.
Oh yeah, that's the most pantser thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah,
Do you guys
sure.
want to explain what a pantser is?
Yeah, okay. So I'll take this one. So for everybody that's first of all that doesn't know what's going on, I'm going to roll this back a bit because these two are reprobates at the best of times. I'm Jez Caggio. I'm a lit RPG author, alcoholic father.
The order of those accolades is interesting.
It's fine. I used to be a welder, and I used to be in catering. Now, the thing is, if you grow up in catering as a chef or in welding, there's one one detail that really stands out, and that's that you don't grow up. You barely survive, and you just get bigger and uglier, which is where you get this. So
I'm seeing how the two people of this chat are similar.
Careful.
From the heart, Chatfield. From the heart. It's actually from the heart as well.
Fair.
You can tell that we're all good friends. So the difference between a plotter and a pantser. A plotter plots out the entire story, right? You plan the whole thing, you work out the intricate details, such as with a lit RPG, which has an integrate and a very sort of very, very detailed system that everything has to link together very well in. Or you have a pantser who does it literally by the seat of the pants, and every so often has to go, I've just broken the entire world by writing this.
That's called a skid mark.
Yeah, and I am number 2, as is this bastard.
Whoopsies! I found a map for the series I'm currently doing.
People think it's all so well planned out. It's really not.
If you can't see,
writing.
There's some smudge marks on stuff, so I don't know what the names are anymore. And so I have to go and find out what the names are by looking through my books to be like, where is Crystal? Yeah. So we're really good at this writing thing. Yeah.
People, I know that my brain is broken from writing because there was like a bunch of the book talkers and stuff have been doing polls lately. They've been talking about like, do you want maps in your books? Right? And my immediate response is no. I don't care. Doesn't matter. I don't think about it, how it goes. The words tell me what I need to know. And then I looked at the poll response and it was like 96% were like yes. I was like, oh, I approach this very differently. No.
Dude,
it wasn't even close. It was like overwhelmingly, devastatingly like, yes, I need the context. And I was like,
number one question asked on my Patreon, hey, do you have any maps? Like, so super kindly asked. And then I'm like, the level of relief when I'm like, yes, there are maps. And they're like, oh, awesome. Can we see them? And I have this thing to send them.
You're like, no. I have maps. You can't see them.
Yeah.
A document that just lists the direction that places are. Like it's not drawn. It's just been like, all right, they went west to this one, east to this one. This one's in the center. Great.
I want to see the stressed out individual that just goes through the list of places. So this is east of this, okay, and west of this, and then north of. What in the
south of this? What the? Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
it's like
thought
one
it
of those.
stupid. I
It's one of
cheated
those
so bad
standardized
with Rise
test
of
logic.
Mankind. I
What'd you do?
literally used Newcastle as it is, Newcastle in the UK, and I used that for my maps. And it was literally like I named by streets, and people are saying, "Oh, this is fantastic! I can follow along with the story. I can look on the map, and I can figure out where they went." I was like, "Yes, I did the same."
Have you guys ever played the game called Frostpunk?
No,
Yes.
but I know
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
I used that in a series because I didn't want to build my own thing. So what I did was I had a playthrough that no one was allowed to ever touch or play or like just even look at because it just had where the things were, which were in the world that I was building, so that if that got removed, I would forget where everything is.
This is like Dinneman talking about his spreadsheet for DCC that lives only on like a 14-year-old computer in his shed that's like getting so big that Excel is like struggling to open it. And every time he tells that story at like at a convention, you watch all the fans go like,
That does not surprise me in the
"Is it backed up? Is it? It does it?"
Oh, it's backed up. It's just not in the way you want.
Yeah.
I literally he came to LA and I went to his little reading I say there was like 300 people, but you know his event and literally like that became like a question of concern. Like somebody was like, "Haha, how do you track this?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, in my shed there's this old computer that has like a 2003 version of Excel that has this thing that's getting like too large for the Excel like reasonable size to handle." And then like all the hands started changing and they were like, just going back to that Excel thing, like, is it backed up somewhere? How bad would it be if you lost it? And you know, Matt's like, you know, he's just like, "Oh, it's probably fine. Be devastating if I lost it." Yeah, and you just felt everyone being like, "Ooh," and I was like, "Oh, you guys are falling for it."
Just abandon the series at that point. But it'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, like Matt's just warm. Like Matt has this secret side of him, which is I love other people's fear.
Yeah,
And he's like, they're like, and as soon as he probably realized, oh, they think that it's never going to exist, he's like, warm my cold heart, which actually reminds me a lot like Jess.
kindred spirits, I would say. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say you're wrong, but still.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to tell people like you bastard.
This is a tell-all. We just admitted we don't know where any of our cities are in our games. So,
Yeah.
I mean, our books.
I do. It's somewhat color coded. There is also, if you can see, no legend of what these colors mean. So, you know, moving on.
Like this, Jez. So if you're only listening to the audio, you won't know that Jez has gotten up to walk around his office, but his camera is mounted and it follows him. So we're getting a free feet. We're getting a panoramic of he's taking it off the wall. This is the most unhinged podcast.
We're seeing the map. Okay.
Coming closer.
That is a nice map. I like that.
Yeah, that is very nice. Well, we only see you now.
Could you put it in front of your face?
He doesn't have his headphones on. Yeah, no, yeah. It follows your face, okay? So you're standing there holding a thing that's not in frame.
Yeah, a map of Dravis. Oh yeah, that does look nice.
That looks very. It does also kind of look like the art behind you.
Yeah, no, it was the art behind him.
No, you.
Oh.
Camera back on. Yep, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, where's Dad going? POV, your camera's like your young son, and he's like, "Dad, where are you going?"
Father.
Return.
Yeah. You got a ton of books, man. Well, like,
why do you?
Other than the ones
you write for a living?
We all do.
I know, but an author.
Part timer.
Okay. Okay.
Who do these look like, Chatfield?
God, I can't see you. It's too far to the left.
It stays on your face again.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. That's terrifying. You know what is terrifying?
10 rounds?
Okay, we kind of talked about this before, but like when you read one of your buddy's books, and then you're just like, I'm loving the book, but could you stop narrating it to me? Because you have to read it in their voice.
You're the worst. You reading 10 Realms, you have like such a, because you've lived so many different places, you have just like funny phrasings every once in a while that's like not quite anywhere. And so many times they would just say a Chatfieldism to each other. And I was like, like.
Me, you know what's even worse, right? Rugrat. Now, I love that character in many ways, but I cannot read that without seeing you as Rugrat at DragonCon in your tighty shorts. So it's like, I see a video, basically, when I read. I see the whole thing, and all I see is everybody else is perfectly normal, and then Chatfield's prancing through.
So I don't want to go into this story, but I will.
Boy.
For
You dressed
Dragon
up.
Con, yeah, I cosplayed as Rugrat. I didn't know I was doing this panel, to be honest, until I got told I was doing this panel like 2 hours beforehand.
I remember
it was
Sarah
like
seeing your face, and you were like, I've got to find some shorts. What?
Yeah, and I was, yeah, there was a lot of decisions that were made that day. I don't know if any of them were good, but there was a lot of decisions made that
There
day.
was a lot of rum
Right.
involved.
So, there was. So I get this message. Hey, do you want to go do this panel? And it's like it's a dating panel. You act as your character, and you go and like do speed dating with other characters as a panel. I was like, cool. It's an after hours panel at Dragon Con, which means that you can
yes.
drink. Yes.
Yes, they do get
They
unhinged.
can't stop you. Not if you really try.
What they didn't tell me is this is recorded. But divesting from this, I went to Shadow Alley Press's booth, and I was like standing there, and I was like, I just got asked if I want to go do this thing, and I was like, yeah, like it'd be super fun, like it'd be great fun. And I was like, should I cosplay Rugrat?
Yes.
And
No,
for
but
people
yeah.
who don't know, Rugrat wears American flag short shorts, cowboy hat, and little else. I did
Don't
wear
worry,
a
I'm
shirt.
not looking for the photos.
Thank goodness.
Totally not.
The distrust in that statement.
Michael's face fell for a second. Like,
Why? Why, Chatfield?
you're a good-looking man. Everybody wants to see a little rug-ratted up, you know?
Yeah, but best part, I played this role the entire time in a southern accent, and there was one guy who was playing another character, and he kept on falling out of character the entire time. I was full drunk, so I can hold an accent when I'm full drunk, because we all well know. There's the
There's the three different Michael Chatfield accents that you can get.
and then the
Yep.
crossover.
Yep.
But yeah, like I get to the end of it was just like I had to go to this thing, and then it finishes at 11 o'clock. So what you do is you go and hang out with other authors, and so I'm just there, like not thinking much of it, in my bungee short shorts, cowboy hat, and a t-shirt, just being like at the bar, and people are like, "What the fuck happened to you?" I'm like, brother, I don't even know. And then Matt was like,
Stuff.
I'll give you $20 to dance on that table. I was like, bet.
That is the most Matt
Let's just-
Dinneman thing.
Stop the camera there.
Oh,
It is a
my
picture
gosh.
of
Baby
me.
Chatfield, dude.
Ah,
What year was this?
This is America's ass.
It's,
Yeah, I couldn't
well,
find
Canada's
short
at
shorts.
least.
This is 2022.
2022.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm just gonna have a look for. What
I think I was there. I just didn't know you very well that year, but I was there.
Yeah, I'm glad for that.
And this
I think
is
that was-
Chatfield dancing on a table.
Of
with
course.
People getting money to stick in his shorts.
Yep. Yeah, this seems about right.
Yeah.
Who says authors don't have fun?
Oh, no,
Yeah,
we
so
have a
how's
lot
your
of fun.
weekend going?
We have a lot of fun.
We also have a lot of therapist bills, but
I thought the writing was the therapy.
no, it's not us that pay for it. It's the therapy we inflict on other people.
I'm doing it wrong.
You sweet summer child.
I'm doing it wrong.
We
I
end
am
up
sweet.
Giving people a reason for therapy.
That's true.
Jazz, going into your history. How was Greece?
I'm going to take the Fifth Amendment on that one.
You can't do that. That's mine.
Greece exists. That's about all I can say about it, right? Look,
Oh, okay. So moving
and
past.
thanks to the way their legal system used to work, I'm not sure if it still works the same, but after 10 years, they wipe off those records. And I can go back to Greece now.
Because they have to reuse the paper.
Probably. I mean, it's Greece, let's face it. I mean, corruption is pretty much... It's not like Nigeria, but the weather's better.
Less princes, I hear, this time of year.
I went to Mykonos with some friends right after the pandemic, and I have
Oh,
never been
God.
shaken down more in my life
Yeah.
than it only became a tolerable experience after we hired a concierge who I later realized was one of the gangsters who ruled the city, but he really liked people. And so he had a concierge service because he loved just meeting people. Like, he had gone to college in Australia, and he drove Uber while he was there, and he was telling me all about how, like, he did like 30,000 rides, and he just like fell in love with the like meeting people and showing them around and whatever. So he's like, so when I came back, I decided to start a concierge service. We're driving through downtown
Great weekend.
Mykonos. Yeah, we're driving through downtown Mykonos, and he's like, well, one of the other things I do, he's like, I own all the CBD licenses of Mykonos. He's like, but we're not going to open them this year because tourism's not back after the pandemic. We usually lose money, but we got to do a little bit just to keep the licenses. And I said, oh, well, why do you want to keep the CBD licenses if they don't make a profit? And he said, oh, well, because in a couple years, Greece is going to legalize marijuana, and then the CBD licenses become the weed licenses. And I said, so you own the entire future legal weed business of Mykonos? And he said, yeah. I was like, oh,
Just a very, very savvy businessman for illicit substances.
and then we got shaken down for money where these like people, like drivers, claimed we hadn't paid them. We had, and we ended up paying. And then he was like, the one time we didn't take a ride with him, and we told him, and he like stops the car, he turns around and he looks at me, and goes, who did this to you? And I was like, I don't know their names. This is pulling me into a situation I don't think I want to be a part of. But he was lovely. He was a great guy. I would use him again.
Yeah, because you're terrified of what might happen if you don't.
Well, everybody else was worse to us, to be fair. He treated us with utmost kindness and fairness, but everyone else did not. So, honestly, what a hero. But
Greece is beautiful, beautiful place, but it's one of those where if you break the law, which a lot of people do accidentally, like stupid things, like completely nonsensical laws, like having to be sober when in charge of a motorbike, having to have clothes on, pants on, having to wear a helmet, or not sunglasses and actually be able to see what's going on, being able to tell if you're riding up a one-way street doing 70 instead of the 20. Stupid laws like that.
yeah, silly.
Yeah.
Having to have a license. Yeah, all completely unreasonable things. It turns out that what you can do with it is, after a certain number you can't, but up until a certain point you can just go back to where you get the bike from, who haven't asked to see any of these licenses or anything else, and you can tell them about it and they'll go, oh yeah, don't worry, €100 will take care of it. And they basically keep €50 and give €50 to the local police, who go, it's fine. Now, when you surpass a certain level of these, it becomes a bit more serious. And
You get your 1 star.
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
In GTA, for a second I thought that was real, and I was like, oh my god, and then I was like, oh, GTA.
And you start getting the whole like, okay, I can't fix this for you. You're going to be doing time for this. You're going to be arrested and so on.
Doing time.
And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. And you decide, I'm going to go for a ride while I think about things. This is a very slow-moving line of traffic. And so you go, pull out. And this is a worker's bike. So, the limiters have been taken off. And as have any chance of passing any kind of Ministry of Transport approved tests. Because this is basically it's an explosive device with wheels attached and a hairdryer. And you decide to just go for it. And you're overtaking them all, one after another, and like, wow, you slow fuckers. And then you overtake the police car at the front. And they start up they put the alarms on, and and they try to catch you. And you manage to get away, which is great. This is what you do. You get away with these things. And then you hear on the grapevine from several friends that are involved in the area that, the police really want you now. Yeah, they know exactly where the bike was. They know that you have to take this bike back. Yeah, this is not going to be good for you. So you go, it's okay, not a problem. I shall leave the island. But, and I would not say, this obviously is a completely,
hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
We're creating a novel right now.
Yeah. So, we're storytellers.
Yeah. So you spend the night with a lady of negotiable virtue, and you've had quite an interesting evening. And you realise that next flight leaves in a few hours. Unless I leave now, I'm not going to make that one. I really need to make that flight. So you get on your bike, and you know the area. You know the area quite well. You've been this area for a while, and you'll floor it down here. Take a left, take a right, take a left, and then you're okay. Except you were very drunk when you came back to said young lady's apartment, and it's not down the street, left, right, left, right. It's down the street, left. And moving from the old town of Malia into the new town of Malia, there's one little road that you have to cross, which is a major road for the area, and it's a 70-mile-an-hour road. And I basically floored it down, took a left, and hit the road up to this 70-mile-an-hour road, where there's traffic going like this constantly. And when you have that little split second of knowing that if you don't stop right now, you are probably going to die, and you know that you've passed that chance, there's no way with the brakes on this thing that you're going to be able to stop. So your only possible chance is just to gun it. So you're standing up, and at this point, I'm only in my shorts. All my other clothes having vanished at some point over the evening's entertainment. So I'm in my boxers, standing up on this moped, going full speed, doing 70, 80 mile an hour. Hit this bump, fly out into the middle of the road, land once, land on the far side, and I've made it. I'm alive. I am Evel Knievel. I have survived everything. This is wonderful. And that is when I land on the far side to find the same police who've been looking for me are standing there, currently threatening somebody over something completely uninvolved. They're just doing their usual shakedown. And I fly through the air between them, screaming. Land.
Boxes flying in the air.
The spark flying out the back. This thing's already smoking. And I'm back! Full speed down the winner. It'll always be, it was one of those moments where you have this, the world goes into slow motion. And I see the face of both these police turn on. And I see the face of the guys that are getting shaken down just go from, no matter what happens here, they're getting away with it because the police are like, I'm having him. But this gets even better because at this point I am still screaming because I don't know what to do with my life anymore. I'm going full pelt down down this road. And I'm like, okay. My apartment is just coming up on the left. It's a very tight corner. There are some big bushes either side. And then there's a pool. And this isn't going to go well, but I have to get off the road. I have to get out of sight. So I turn, skidding quite wide, hit one of the hedges going forward. There's the pool. Thankfully, there's nobody in it at this point because I literally sort of stand up, skid slightly, and the bike just keeps going straight into the pool. I turn right. I run straight into the apartment. Unfortunately, there are people currently taking suitcases up the stairs towards where my apartment is, and the other apartment's higher up, which means there is no way I'm getting past to try and hide, having not been seen. There is, however, as you walk in the door, you've got the stairs going up, the stairs going down, and there's another door just down here that's just closing. So I run full pelt, jump down sort of 6 stairs or so, land on one foot, kick the door open, skid in, slam the door shut, and go, don't mind me, I was never here, and dive into the bed. The young lady in the bed was amused, having met me before, so it was okay, but the police come herring in a little bit. We hear them screaming at the stairs, like, he's up here, They come down, bang on her door, and she goes across, towel around her. What are you doing? Oh my God, slams the door. And I'm like, I survived. So I managed to get out of this by climbing out of her room, up, standing on the little railings, jumping up, climbing up the outside, grabbing my suitcase, back down, completely abandon the fact that there's a dozen people standing around the pool looking at this motorbike in there. And I'm like, who would do such a thing? Bastards. Get to the airport, and as I'm going through, and I'm literally sort of like, there you go, there's passport. Please don't look at that. Please don't look at this. Yeah, they sort of look at it and, okay, let you through. I make it to the fact of going through Greece security and through customs, and I see police coming in at the back over there. And I think this is going to go really badly. If they find me, this is going to be serious time. So I do the only thing I can do, and I get a little bag of sugar and put it in my mate's pocket and tell Greek security that he's got drugs on him. Yeah. They didn't find it as amusing as I did. He didn't find it as amusing as I did. But we both got told off, basically, and I was allowed to board the flight and escaped Greece. And then I never, ever, ever went back to Crete for no apparent reason. And now you all know what you've signed up for. So if you like my books, there's a series called Arise, which is based in Crete.
This is very fair.
What year were you in Crete, out of curiosity?
Whoa.
No. Actually, okay.
Specific.
No, because my uncle was stationed in Crete for many years, and you two would get along, and I just wonder.
He's just like, hey, you were that guy?
Yeah.
Scrub that one out.
Yeah. I was there for quite a few years over the summers. I'd basically just get bored of this country, get on a flight and go spend the summer, come back at the end of the summer and be like, my mother often dropped me off at the airport, which was lovely, you know. Have fun, dear. And she would pick up this wasted, emaciated, damaged husk of a human being and be like, what happened to you?
Had a good time.
Yeah. So
Michael Chatfield is frozen.
See, this is the problem with this. Right now I have this instinct to draw a little mustache on him. You know, a different
But, I mean,
kind of mustache.
yeah, I was going to say that's sort of, he has one. Yeah.
Bastards, you know.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it'd
yeah.
have to be a curly one.
Yeah. No, the little curly cues. He'd look good with a little handlebar, actually.
He's a filthy bastard. He'd probably look good with anything, which is just...
Yeah, it's really annoying.
Yeah.
Some guys
He's
have
got
all the
the
luck.
extra start.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, well.
And he's back. Look at that.
We were just saying how much we
Sorry.
loved you, mate.
I was hearing your mother dropping you off at an airport.
Oh, that was so long ago.
Yeah,
We've
don't worry about it. You
uh,
didn't miss anything.
not a
Andrew,
single thing. Yeah.
Andrew,
Hmm?
have you done anything countries?
Have I done anything in countries? I think I mostly behave in other countries because I feel like dumb things happen to me. So I try not to get in trouble in places where it's further away from the people who will get me out of trouble.
So you've developed a belief over life that, hey, I need to preemptively get away from things that will possibly get me into because I can already get myself into enough shit.
You've met me.
Yeah.
Does that sound wrong?
No.
I'll give you a story. When we were leaving Mykonos, this is the kind of stuff that happens to me. When we were leaving Mykonos, I'd gone with a bunch of my friends. I was traveling with these two girls, these two sisters, and we were flying back to LA. And we flew through Madrid. So we went Mykonos to Madrid, Madrid to LA. And in Madrid, for whatever reason, they made us go through customs. I don't know why, because Greece and Spain are both EU, right? So like, I really don't understand why this happened. But in Mykonos, there was a power outage. Well, we were getting ready to go, and they were unable to print our boarding passes for Madrid. So they're like, just get them when you get to your gate in Madrid. And you're like, okay, sure, whatever. We fly to Madrid, and we're like, okay, cool, we got to go to the international terminal, whatever. We get stopped at a border control, customs line, and they're like, passport boarding pass. And we're like, well, we don't have our boarding. Like, they told us to get them at the gate. And one of the sisters I'm with, she starts explaining. Like, she takes me, she's like, okay, we don't have a boarding pass. And she's just like a little flustered. And like, this guy is just like, the only thing he says is passport boarding pass. And then she's like, okay, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and explains the whole thing. And he just stares at the three of us. And he takes her passport, and he stamps it, and he gives it to her. And he takes the other sister's passport, he stamps it, and he gives it to her. And then he takes my passport. They both just flee immediately. They're like, thank you, gone. He takes my passport, and he just looks at me. And I'm like, how's it going? He opens my passport, and he flips one page, and he looks at me, flips next page, and he looks at me. He held me for 5 minutes without saying a word before finally stamping it and let me go. And I have just been abandoned. Like, if they had pulled me or anything, nothing. All my people gone, left out to dry, whatever, and later it's like, oh, did he think that like, I was like trafficking them or something? Like he just like gave them time. Like, I don't know what it was, but for whatever reason, I know I did nothing. I said 3 words to this man and he held me for 5 minutes. That's the kind of stuff that happens to me everywhere I go. So I don't go looking for trouble.
I haven't had a girlfriend in 3 years, so I'm gonna give every second for you. And you're just there like, I'm here with my friends, and he's like, you, man. Like, yeah, 2 sisters, you lucky son of. Mm-hmm.
Came out and they were like, what took you so long? I was like, where did you go? Left me to the wolves.
Yeah, like, this guy
They're both
didn't
like,
want even let me go.
Yep. So no, I don't go looking for trouble because it finds me.
It already has your address.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Oh man. I tell you, yeah, like you guys, okay, so I like traveling quite a bit.
What?
Surprising, I know.
Michael Chatfield travels?
Mm,
First time hearing of it.
yeah. But for a year, what I did is I traveled every single month. I went to a new country. So like they would like, you go to a new place and you go see the place and you go and hang out. It was awesome. And you stay with the same group throughout it all. Thing was that we would travel from there to all different places. So we started in Europe and then we moved around and went to like Asia, then went to Latin America and all this. It's great. It's awesome. It's a bit of a culture shock to some people going and doing that. Like if you go to Chiang Mai in Thailand, they really don't like this. But there's these red trucks and it's just a truck with a cover on the back, and they're just like, where do you need to go? And you're like, I need to go to this place. They're like, cool, 100 baht, get in the back. And you're like, okay. And you get in the back and you're just bumbling along in this truck, and they're like, and like someone comes up and they're like, where are you going to? And they're like, this place. And you're like, that is nowhere in the direction that I'm going to. And they're like, 200 baht, get in. And you're like, okay, well, this price is going up. And eventually it will get to a point where there's so many people crammed into the back of this truck, which if you don't realize, Thailand's kind of warm. So everyone's doing the thing where one person sits forward and one person sits back, just so you could fit in the back of this truck. And then you've got three guys who are having a great time because they're on the back. Yeah, it may be dangerous, but they've got ventilation back there. We have fumes coming back into the car, and we're just getting smogged out by the rest of the cars all around us. You realize people do it differently in different countries. But we would call, so if you drive a moped in Thailand, we call it the tourist tax. The tourist tax is if you are not wearing a helmet in Thailand, the cops are like, "Hey, buddy, got 1,000 baht?" And then if you don't pay 1,000 baht, then you have to go and do all this kind of stuff. If you do pay 1,000 baht, you're good to go. Um, but you look around, no one, no one, even the kids, are wearing helmets. Maybe that's changed nowadays. But you're like, okay, this is what it is. Yeah, but no, it's interesting how different countries are different ways.
I went when I was 18. I went to Uganda and I went whitewater rafting on the Nile, which was pretty sick.
It's the deadliest river in the world.
Not
all the animals in that and everything.
not at that area, right? Like, because so the Nile flows south to north. It's the only major river to do so. And when it's coming out of Lake Victoria, it's very different than how it is in Egypt, where it's full of alligators and hippos and everything. So we didn't see a single deadly animal. It's actually one of the least rocky rapids, or rather, the rapids are all incredibly deep because it's like right out of the lake's source. So the rocks are like 40 feet down. So you can go through a class 5 rapid without ever touching rocks because it's
drowning.
just, yeah, well, I mean, I fell out of the raft in a class 5 rapid and rode the entire class 5 rapid, and it was awesome. It was like a water slide.
By your, like, just outside the boat.
Just me and my little. I was actually stuck under the boat for part of it and had to like shove. They were like, "Yeah, if you get stuck on the boat, you have to like grab it and pull down, so you like throw yourself behind the boat eventually."
Did
but
they not like you? Is that what happened here? I mean, they took you to the
maybe.
Nile, and they're like, "Just jump in, you'll be fine."
It's so fun. There was a photo from like they had like a guy would go ahead in a kayak where our raft starts to flip, and I was in the front and I was sitting next to these like two like English school teachers who were hungover, and they were both like, "Bruh," as we're like going over, and then you just see a wave like grabbing me and pulling me in. But it was great. But I remember the thing that was interesting about Kampala, the capital of Uganda, was there was a drought going on, and Uganda, the Kampala's power plants were.
You inconsiderate bastard. You're there getting waterboarded for your life, and people are.
I gave it all back. I spit it all back out. Okay, I promise. But the bigger problem was actually that like I think it was the Egyptian government was bribing the officials in Uganda to let water out of the Lake Victoria, so that the Nile would continue to flow regularly because of the drought. But it meant that Lake Victoria didn't have enough water to power its hydro plants fully. So Kampala was just having rolling brownouts where it'd be like, hey, like for 3 hours, you guys won't have power from like this time to this time. So don't open your refrigerators and stuff like that. And so it was just this crazy. Everyone was like, yep, that's what's going on.
So first of all, for everyone who doesn't know, Andrew swims quite well.
I did. Yeah.
Lucky.
That might have factored into me not being bothered by being stuck under a boat.
I was gonna say this might be a case of that's why you're alive.
It really wasn't that bad. Like other people fell out. I wasn't the only one.
Were they ever seen again?
Yeah, we found everybody.
Just checking, because,
Yeah.
falling out, you didn't say they were found, or how many bits of them were found.
My dad did not fall out, and I remember he was like terrified. My dad wears glasses, and he wasn't wearing glasses on the thing, so he couldn't see me. So I'm like bobbing along, like not far from the raft, and he's like, "Andrew, are you okay?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine."
Yes, I'm absolutely.
To be fair, I was a state champion swimmer at the time that I fell out of the raft, so I was like not bothered. I was like, this is fine.
So in the UK, a while ago, they don't do them anymore, but they used to do it where you could go bungee jumping from a crane at a bar. And what it
Weird.
was,
Why do they not do this anymore?
what it was literally this crane would rock up on the back of low loader. They'd crank it up overhead, and you could go up in the cage and just jump out. Now, admittedly, bungee jumping with concrete at the bottom in a road, it doesn't really work out well for everybody. So they stopped this. But when I did it, it was still perfectly legal and it happened. Except that my mother is absolutely terrified of heights. So I'd got her to come along for a shit, just for shits and giggles, doing the whole like, it's okay, this will help you with your fear of heights.
Your
Yeah.
poor mother.
So it goes up, crane, goes up, goes up, goes up, goes up, and she's like, she can't look anywhere but like up like that. She's holding on. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So I do the only thing you can do as a child. You know, you love your mother, you respect her, you want everything to be okay for her. So I'm like, it's okay, mum. Don't worry, don't worry. I back up. And because she's looking up like that, she hasn't realized that I have moved through and I have closed the gate. And it is now open behind me now. It's okay, it's okay. And then I leap backwards and somersault over. Now, two problems with this. First of all, she is very, very short. She's like 5 foot. And she's now panicking because I have just literally backflipped out of a crane. And secondly, these are not very well secured. So when the bungee goes, the whole thing goes like that.
Yeah.
And so does the cage that she's in. It comes down. Yeah, I hadn't helped her with the whole
Weird.
heights. I thought it would be good for her.
Do you have an amicable relationship with this woman? Does she still refer to you as son?
Your accent just slipped. You just code switched.
Sorry.
She also occasionally curses me and screams, but
Yeah, every time she picked him up from the airport from Greece, she was like,
yeah, he survived the little.
Boomerang.
That's like
just keeps coming.
a bunch of YouTuber friends of mine. We did a little vacation one time to Mont Tremblant in Canada, which is it's up on the East Coast. It is a very big mountain, a very popular ski mountain. And my friend was like, "Hey, listen, I've rented this chateau. All you got to do is fly out there, and we'll have a great week." And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds great. I've never done this before." He's like, "It's easy. We'll teach you." We show up, and I knew I was screwed the first day as we walked up because they were holding the U.S. Olympic winter trials on the mountain. So they had like all these banners, people were cheering as speed skiers are like zooming down, and I was like, interesting that we chose the mountain that are the best in the world are currently competing on. Cool.
Clearly, just
he's like,
nice smooth runs.
Yeah. He was like, no, don't worry about that. So anyway, I get a snowboard. He's like, you've ever skateboarded before? I was like, a little. He's like, cool. It's basically the same thing. And then we get in a covered gondola and go to the top of the mountain. It's like a 20-minute ride up to the top of the mountain. And the whole time I'm like, this feels like a lot, but okay. We get to the top of the mountain. We get a couple instructions on how to snowboard, and we start. We make it about 100 yards with one of the YouTubers with us who had never snowboarded before. Falls, hits his head, and like the medics come over and they're like, yeah, you have a concussion. You need to go back. And we're like, wow, okay, that was fast. And he's like, okay, well, the gondola's right there, so I'll just go back down and go home, I guess. And we're like, okay, bud. And he's like, yeah, I think I'll be okay. I then spend the next 4 hours falling down this mountain, making it like 30 yards, plop, 30 yards, plop, just falling in every which way. I got checked out by the medics several times where they're like, are you okay, buddy? And I was like, I'm fine. I've later found out, by the way, that the mom from Parent Trap, who was Liam Neeson's wife, she died on this mountain. That's why she's not in movies anymore. We get to the bottom of the hill. The sun has set, right? The wolves are out. I turn in my stuff. I'm like one human bruise. And I go and I stand outside the community center and I'm like warming my hands at the bonfire. And our friend who had a concussion appears at my side and he's like, hey. And I'm like, what are you doing here? And he's like, what do you mean? We're like, we sent you home. And he goes, oh, I don't know. We're like, have you just been wandering around all day? And he's like, yeah, I guess so. He had like forgotten by the time he got down the mountain that he had a concussion and was supposed to go home. So fortunately, he just happened to wander up to me. Otherwise, we would have left him on the mountain. And I never snowboarded again.
Just a quick question. The people that you went with to do this, did they like you?
I have reevaluated that. It is an open question. Yeah. It felt like a murder attempt.
So the last time I was on a ski hill, I was doing search and rescue.
For me, probably.
No. This was in Australia. This is the first and last time I've been to Australia. I arrived in country, not supposed to be in country, because the guy's gone missing, and he's an ex-Canadian soldier. The Australian forces are like, we will find him. And the family goes, they can't even go out in winter. Why don't you just use Canadian troops to go do this? If anyone knows, countries don't like it when you call out their military while in their country. It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing.
I've never heard of that.
So we showed up, not being in country, but being in country, um, as volunteers. And we go and we're like, okay, we're gonna go find this guy. We'll go see him.
Volunteers or voluntold?
It's the same, a little different, same.
In the military, same.
Volunteers,
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go to this lovely, amazing ski resort, all of this kind of stuff. We get a 1 day pass. We get a 1 ride pass because we go to the top of this. We do not go down the hill. There's a ravine between the 2 runs that they have, and they're like, "That's your objective for the day." And we're like, "Cool." I apparently didn't get the briefing.
Michael, you lagged out. You froze.
All we saw is there's a ravine. That was it. It's like, what?
Yeah.
And then what?
So there's a ravine between these 2 runs going down the hill, and they're like, "That is your objective for the day." And we're like, "Okay, we don't know what we're getting into at this period of time." We've gone from 0 elevation of feet to about 4,000 elevation of feet.
Jeez.
Maybe like we guesstimate that it was the 7th highest peak in the world. I should probably look this up at one point to have actual facts and numbers, but numbers just run away from my brain. But
Yeah.
it was high.
And maps.
Yeah.
We don't write lit RPG or anything when
Yeah, no.
We're really seeing how maps are the Achilles heel of authors at this point in time. Like, if you looked at it, you'd be
Stay
like,
with your facts.
"Oh wow, these elevation lines, that looks tall because there's a lot of circles around that thing." Anyway,
That's what it means. Sick. I thought somebody was just bored.
yeah.
When they were drawing the
So-
map, they take it home one night, they're trying to finish it off after hours, their kids there with crayons. That made so much more sense to me, but
It's just texture.
Yeah. Viola. It forever be in everything. Oh, God. Okay, so we get to this ravine. We're going through this ravine. We find out that the ravine is not 100% a ravine. It is a series of waterfalls.
No.
It's winter. Do you know
Yeah.
what happens when lots of water goes over lots of rocks and it's really, really cold and it's constant flow of water?
Nothing good.
A mirror-like surface is found underneath our feet as we are forging our way down this spring thing, absolutely soaked, like soaked up to the chest. And we are going through all of this, and we're like, "It's a bit cold, boys. It's a tad bit chilly out here." We keep going down this thing. We don't even know where we are at this point because we've switched back so much that one of the guys has taken an axe and destroyed a tree, and all of us are just like, "Makes sense." And then after he's done that, he's like, "Sorry lads, just needed to do that." And we're like, "Understand completely." Keep going, because if we stop, we have realized that we're going to hit hypothermia if we take more than 5 minutes of a break, because it is like negative 25 degrees and we are covered in water, and we just keep going. We have to just keep going. We get to the end, and the guy rocks up in a truck, and he's like, "Oh, boys, it's a bit cold in here." He's had the blowers going on inside the vehicle, and like there is steam rising from all of us as we all just get into the car, sit back, and then the man says, "But I did bring beers." Everyone sits and just like, "Give me that." And then goes back, and it was just like, "I love you, man," and just like, drinking beer. It would have been so bad if we stopped for like 2-3 minutes. We would have been like, "Yeah, this is not good." But no.
Wait, the guy who picked you up, was that the guy you were looking for?
No,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's what I was like.
I just had
That's
to do
what
a
I was
liquor
like.
delivery.
I was like, wait a second, bro. What in the bad writing is going on here?
No, it was like the guy who's missing. It was like his brother, and he had like never driven a truck before, which did show because like he was driving it like a compact, and the back end would sweep out. And we're just like, just sending in a netherverse, just like, what the is going on? Yeah, Jazz.
yes, sir.
What happened with welding?
I was very drunk. It was a lot of years. Welding was something I really enjoyed, right? Now, I grew up in catering, like I say, and I moved into welding. And the reason for it is that in welding, it's perfectly acceptable if somebody annoys you for you to punch them in the face. And there's no sort of
Does that
comeback
happen
on
in
this.
your workplace, Andrew?
More than you think.
Yeah, like I've seen you punching a lot of people in the face in Minecraft, bro.
As a perfect example, okay, there's one of the guys I work with has PTSD. One of the new starters decides it'll be really, really funny to walk up behind him. You've got all your gear on, your helmet on, your air fed, all this kind of stuff. You can't hear much until somebody makes a loud noise. So he gets a can and puts a bunch of little firecrackers in it, lights it, and runs. Thinks it's hilarious. This
Doesn't
guy
sound like
is
the smartest plan
he
everyone's
really
ever
wasn't.
had.
Ex-military, PTSD. So obviously, when everything's calmed down, we all help to find this kid, drag him out, and he beats 12 shades of shit out of him in the middle of the factory. And one of the people who's standing there making sure the kid can't get away is the kid's manager. Because you're like, this is an important lesson for you to learn, son. You don't do this shit. And that is welding to a T. It's perfectly acceptable for if you step out of line for somebody to beat the crap out of you. But it's irrespectful. You all, unless there's a good reason, nobody's just going to randomly rock up and go, "Huh?" Because then everybody's going to pile on them. So you've got a more respectful mannerism, and you've got a bit more of a we're all having a laugh. Now, minor problem. Yeah, but a bit of bar fights. Everybody gets in a bar fight.
Bot of fun, isn't it?
Have you ever been in a bar fight, Andrew?
Almost, but no. Which really to no or to almost?
Chatfield, you've
No.
been in bar fights.
Yes.
Of course he has.
No. Anyway, so in welding, like I said, this is the attitude. I discovered I really hated people from catering. I hated people just generally. And in welding, you can literally punch somebody if they annoy you, and everybody just leaves you the alone. So I can work, and as a chef for a lot of years, welding is a motion of repetitive motions. You've got to be able to get the right smooth. You've got to be able to handle the heat. My arms look like I'm a heroin addict because all the little bits of spatter that come off when you're welding, you see them fly all over. If those get into the creases of your like the overalls, if you don't stop and get rid of them, they burn through. Then they burn through your t-shirt. Then they burn into your arm. And it's a case of you're working and you're welding along and you're going, well, if I stop, I'm going to have to gouge this weld out and start this bit again. But if I just keep going for another minute, I'll finish this weld here and it's good. So you're like, I'll just keep going. And so you have a little session where all these little bits of spatter, tiny little bits of
You
glowing
shouldn't
steel
grip
melt
your
into your
fist
arms.
when you're doing that, just as a visual part.
Yeah.
It does look like you're trying to give blood. Continuing on.
So
Take it.
on a completely side note, Chrissy, my wife, is a nurse, and she would love it because I would come home and she would get a scalpel out and some tweezers and get to cut her husband, which, women. But moving on. In welding, so I'm enjoying this life quite a lot. It's well paid.
Andrew, for those of you that can't see, descended into the bottom of his seat, just being like, "Oh God, this is my future."
I don't think so. No.
No, you're the love of your life.
Thank you for believing.
So there we are. I'm welding quite merrily. I'm earning very good money, and I'm doing my qualifications. So I'm going to start earning seriously good money soon, and it's a good life. It's physically tiring, so you sleep well at night time. I get to listen to audiobooks all day. Nobody gives me any grief because you just punch them if they do. And you just get on with your life. And it's so much easier because you're like, actually, this is pretty good as working careers go. I'm still going to work, so it's still a bit shit, but, it's okay. Then I'm exposed to some chemicals. Some chemicals that were never, ever supposed to be used in the workplace. And as part of this, these chemicals were used to fill in dents and bumpers and so on. And it was given to the guys that were working in that cell as an unmarked see-through pot with just this lump in. And they would then take this out, pad it in, dry it, sand it all off, and then spray paint, and it was totally fine, covered over. Hey, no worry, Caterpillar will never notice that this bumper that's all finished has actually got this big dent in it. Totally fine, hidden. Minor problem, the reason they gave it to us in these little tubs was because the big tub it came in had all the warning signs on, like cannot be used indoors, period. Known carcinogen, all these massive killer things. And what was happening in the next cell was they were using grinders, when it was dried, to grind it all off. It then comes up into the air, it then settles. The reason it settles, as Health and Safety Authority came into the factory and found out after this had happened, is because there are 17 fans in the ceiling. 2 of them are in right, the others are either not working or are in backwards. And so we had this level of smog that built up throughout the shift. And then you would open up the back doors and this level of smog would go out. And that was just normal for this factory. It's just the way some things are. But there's half a dozen of us that have then got this chemical that has then come in the back of our helmets and we've breathed it in. And I have currently something like 44% lung capacity. The rest of it is just dead tissue. So I went from, I'm training for Tough Mudder, I'm training for the Great North Run. I have this this thing about, we all have a residual self-image. We all have an image of this is who I am. And my wife jokes now and then that I am half the man she married, because at this point I lift parts for Caterpillar all day
Wasn't
long.
the
for, like,
scalpel she was just cutting with, was it? Jesus.
yeah, exactly. But you know how it is. It's marriage for you, man. It's marriage. But it's a case of I'm lifting these parts for Caterpillar I work on, and they're 110 kilos. And I lift these, you weld your section, cool it, flip it over, carry it around, do all the bits. And I do this for 10 hours a day. I'm a big guy, and I have this as part of my identity. I am this big, strong guy, and I'm really healthy, and it's like, hey, this is great. I'm a manly man. And no, I'm not going to break into the Lumberjack song for you, Chatfield. I know you want to.
It's in the head. It's in the head. It's playing already.
See, overnight, sort of over the period of this starting, over about 4 days, I've gone to the point where I can't cut the grass in our garden, which is 7 meters by 11 meters. So I can't cut the grass in the garden without having to sit down 2 or 3 times. If I go up the stairs and back down, I now just need to sit down for 10 minutes to catch my breath. That's the level I've gone from literally I'm training for a half marathon and I'm wanting to do Tough Mudder and hey, into, whew, I'm going to have a lie down now because I've gone upstairs for something and I've forgotten something, so that's me for the next hour. That's the sort of the 2 levels. So I went from that point, and obviously you have this mental image of yourself as who you are, and you do have this, I'm great, I'm the way I should be, I'm a man, and that's gone. Every part of value that I had at that part as me is gone because I can no longer support my family. I can't work. I'm absolutely screwed. I can't work in the area I was in. I don't have any transferable skills now that can be used because I can't work anywhere around steel in this manner. So I can't, it's not like I can go in the office instead or anywhere else. It's like, nope, your career's over. Sod off, sorry. So I decide from that point, we're suing the company obviously, but that all goes to tits up as well. I decide what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a career again. I'm not going to just get a job and muddle through. I'm going to get a career. I was always reasonably good with people. I was always reasonably good with tech. I'll go into IT. I can learn. I can do this. Okay. I'm 40 nearly. I'm like 38.
I'd like to highlight something to people that don't know this. What are the fingers that you use when you're typing, Jez?
Sorry, not that one.
Your 2 pointer fingers for people that...
Like 2 pointer fingers.
I didn't zoom in.
I never learned to touch type. I worked in IT for 3 years. Okay. I worked in IT for 3 years, and there's a really important detail that they should tell you about when you go into IT. Sorry, I'm just controlling the camera. That's not me just calling Chatfield a loser, which I often do, though.
Fair enough.
Welding, perfectly acceptable to punch people in the face. Catering, reasonably acceptable. IT, not so much. They really should tell you that beforehand. So
Yeah,
anyway,
be in the brochure.
Yeah, I lasted 3 years. I think I did fantastically well to last 3 years. I didn't actually end up in prison or anywhere else or fired for beating somebody, though there's plenty of times I wanted to. But then one day I started writing out of therapy. And it was genuinely, it was therapy. It was another author had reached, we were talking about things, and he'd said, look, he's a doctor, and he'd said, I think this would be good for you. I started writing for therapy, and I think you should too. I think you should try it. And I was like, no. Authors are these really intelligent people. They're these mystical creatures who create these books that I absolutely love. And obviously, you two are smirking now because you know we're all dumb as
Yeah, we're pretty basic individuals.
We are.
We're maybe a bit lower on the smart scale because we're like, you know what? The one thing I'm going to do is finish this book. That is all I'm going to do.
I don't know where the smart authors are hiding, but they don't go to the places I hang out. That's for sure.
No.
Maybe they're learning cartography.
But yeah, that's how I came about in this environment. I tried writing a book, and it was a case of because of my personality, because I'm quite assholish. If I'm going to do something, I have to do it all the way to the end. Otherwise, I have real problems with it. So I went into it. I went downstairs. I told my wife, Chrissy, who's a wonderful person, who I don't deserve, I'll be honest. And I said to her about, like, okay, you laugh at this. This guy thinks I should do this. How stupid is that? And she goes, if it'll help you, do it. You should do it. And I was like, no, you don't understand. If I do this, I'd need to do it properly. I'd need to try and publish it, but I definitely need to get editors. I need to get a cover. I need to do all these things. And at this point, I am working in IT at pretty much the lowest level I can be. I am barely squeaking by. I am shit. And I've gone from I am earning really good money into I am barely able to pay for my bills. I am not contributing to the house at all. I'm not contributing to anything else. I can barely survive. And where we're standing at this point is we have managed to buy, because I was welding, because Chrissy had this really good job as a nurse, we have bought the house that she wanted to buy as a child. This, the one that you draw with, the door, the windows to either side, the chimney, the whole thing. This was the house that she had wanted forever. And we own this house now, or we live in this house. We've been mortgaged up to our arsehole. And we're at that point of, we might lose the house. We might lose everything because I can't get a real job and I can't really earn proper money because of this. And I'm standing there telling my wife, who's working her ass off round the clock, earning all the money to try and keep things up. And I'm going, well, we'd need thousands of pounds more to do this. And she goes, you write it, I'll fund it. I will make sure we've got the money there because this is important for you, to be able to get this out to help you. And I didn't sign up for this for the short term. This is the long haul. Do it. And I did it. And plenty of times I nearly threw it out the window and went, ah! And I am notorious for sending it to my editors and going, fix that and make it pretty. Because again, welding background, so not so much the writing educated side.
I'm feeling that your maps and your books have some similarities in this case. Remember, there's stuff here, add.
I'm sorry, who are we speaking to right now? What was that?
Shit, whatever.
The fourth person has joined the podcast.
So anyway, long story short, basically, my first book launched 3 days into the pandemic, into me being furloughed, which was fantastically lucky, and it genuinely was. I always credit the fact that it was a lucky start that got me going. And I was furloughed with the lung damage, and the IT company I worked for at the time had said, like, oh no, you can't possibly be out in public, you have to be protected, it will kill you. And then after about 6 weeks went, hey, look, everybody's in the house at the moment. We desperately need you to come back to work because we need to make a lot of money selling everybody who's working from home this equipment. And I go, but it will kill me. And they go, yeah, we'll just make sure you stay in the office. I was like, you said that to one of the other guys 3 weeks ago because I'm still in the group chat with them all. He lasted 4 days in the office and you sent him out and he's now off with COVID. And they're like, yeah, that's why we need you back. I'm like, yeah. Went and told Chrissy. Chrissy went, call them back and tell them to go themselves. You're not going back to work on Monday. And I never did. And I never went back to work, period, because I'm now an author and I now stay in here and go, hee, and create.
I can imagine you, like, Chrissy, they really, really need me to go back to work. And she's like, oh, we're not doing that. And then you running off, like it's a snow day, it's the thing that we have in Canada, and just being like, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. You can't make me.
I mean, it's a very beautiful story.
In the most classy and carefully thought out and kind and just the right man.
You punch people in the face when they talk to you.
Well,
he was going to say that he can imagine.
Condolences for your loss. I'm not coming back.
Yeah, there it is.
We call so in the Canadian Army we call it boot because you just give them a
so much
swift
about you.
kick.
Oh, right. I'm glad you stressed that.
Andrew, have you ever had that in the workplace? Swift kick?
Not physically. I have a similar story to how I became a YouTuber, where I was working in the video game industry. I was working at the largest Minecraft server in the world. I was responsible for designing all of their content, but I was also making YouTube content on the side. And a friend of mine called me and offered me a job to come help him make content for his channel and also to like learn from him and start my own channel. He would help kind of facilitate. It was a big pay cut. It was a big pay cut for my like corporate job versus like taking a risk. And I was like, it's pretty like I want to do it, but like it's pretty foolish. It's pretty like it's really risky. I don't know like if I'm being wise and smart. I was like 28, 29. I was like if I'm 27, something like that. If I'm being wise, like I don't know if that's like the thing I should do at this point in my life. And my friend was like, well, sleep on it and get back to me. And I was like, all right, I'll sleep on it. The next morning at 8 a.m., I get a call and my bosses are like, we went wildly in the red last month. You're fired. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I don't have a choice anymore.
YouTube's looking pretty good.
Yeah. So like I called my friend and was like, hey, if that job's still there, I'll take it. And he was like, let's do it. And then I, since then, have been a full-time YouTuber and have never gone back to having a real job. But it was the same thing.
When did you both start? When did you make the transition, the two of you?
2020.
2018. Pre-pandemic. Yeah.
Pandemic, literally in the nut. It was like, I am not going back to work. I am free. You can't get me.
You know what was funny was the month before lockdown was the first time that my YouTube channel ever paid all of my team and all my bills, right? Like it broke even and covered me as a human being. And I was like, it's happening. I finally have done it, right? I had like other little side things that were supplementing, but I was like, I am a real YouTuber. I have like reached the status of like having a sustainable career off of YouTube. And then they were like, everybody get in your house. And all the marketing budgets vanished. All that, everybody in the world stopped. And it was like the next month I earned like 25% of what I had made the month before. And I was like, are you kidding?
But
this is the end.
The subscriber count just
The back half of the pandemic more than made up for it. But it was funny to be like, I've done it. Oh, just kidding. This is what I mean by stuff happens to me. Like that's the timing that happens to me constantly. Is like, aha, fire.
Hey.
Yep.
So you're recovering that. That's cute. Here's the dumpster.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think it's really interesting, like talking to people and seeing that, okay, you have to take a freaking chance on yourself. And sometimes the world does push you, but there is a huge component where it's just like, yo, you just got to take this chance. And like, it is like, as you were saying it, you have to go, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it all the way. Because it's so easy to give up. Like
I had written my first book. I had written for about a year and a half, and I kept starting it and stopping it and starting it and stopping it. And I got about a third of the way through, and I'd redo it because I'd do an hour here, then I'd not touch it for a week, then I'd do 2 hours, then I'd do like 5 hours, and it was all over the shop. And then I was like, no, fuck this shit. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it now. And I wrote it in 3 months. It was like, there you go, 189,000 words in 3 months. Like,
yeah, but like Jez, like
2 fingers.
That's pretty good.
So for everyone else, Jez still types with 2 fingers, which infuriates the hell out of me, and probably gives you crippling carpal tunnel because like I don't know how the hell you do that.
I would love to be able to type like with all my fingers. I really, really would. But at the moment, I am hitting.
Be a real boy.
I would love to be a real boy. I feel. I'm hitting 1,200 words in a 30-minute sprint. So I'm hitting
crazy.
2,500 words nearly in an hour.
You're 2-finger typing and hitting 1,200 words in 30 minutes? How? Fast is all I'm saying. But the problem is, if I stop now to try and learn to type properly, in the long term, it'll be so much better for me. I'll be able to get a lot more out. Between now and then, it'll drop down to like 30 words, and that will take me a long time. And I'm like, I'm going to do it next week. I'll do an hour this week, but not today.
So
yeah,
a little behind the scenes. Andrew, Jez told me this, and I was like, dude, I had to learn how to touch type like 2 years ago because I don't know what method you call this, but I've been pressing letters with my fingers in no way that made sense. Like sometimes E would be my middle right finger. So it's just, it's this thing was going on.
Hey, what's wrong with you two? I don't what's going on? I don't like this.
You want to do big word counts, you got to do weird finger things. But
I'm doing it wrong, I guess.
The worrying thing was, somebody said ages ago, oh, you can't hit those kind of numbers typing. You're using AI. It's like, I've been doing this for 6 years. AI wasn't available, first. Secondly, AI couldn't do what I do because AI is far more sensible and well-behaved. AI couldn't come up with this shit. It didn't have the therapy needs that I do. Right?
AI wishes it could hallucinate like me.
I've broken AIs. They'll try, they'll fail.
Yeah. But it does, like, okay, touch type, like, there's a website you can go to, I think it's like typing.com, literally typing.com. And you can learn in about a month how to touch type. And so I sent this to Jez, and Jez was like, oh, that'd be wonderful. But I have to get a book done by the end of this week. And I'm like, how much have you got left? And I was hesitant to ask that. And he's like, oh, like 120,000 or something crazy like that. And I was like,
okay, Seth Ring.
I was like, oh, what? Seth uses his voice.
I know.
Is out there with 2 fingers and a pain tolerance.
This draw.
Just
a little like one of those like cartoon like clouds comes up. He just goes in and you just hear like pop, 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 pop.
What's your keyboard like? Like how quick do you go through a keyboard?
I change keyboards about once a year.
Oh, that's better than I was thinking. What do you got there?
Yeah, I have
Keychron. Though every single time I go through any customs, they want to swipe this because it's metal. The base is metal, and it's a good weighty keyboard.
Keychron too. Yeah. What do you got? Oh,
Logitech.
Logitech. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
I re-
the low profiles?
Yeah, I really like this one actually. What is this? This is the Pro. It's one of their like pro gaming ones, but it has really good response. It's like a good level of click, but it's also not too loud for content, which I can't have like the clickiest of keyboards.
So okay, we're gonna go nerdy for a second.
Yeah, oh
This
yeah, man.
is the Keychron blush, and like I don't know, you hear that? It is so padded. I don't know if that's. I guess with all of us, that's probably necessary in our lives. But it's so padded. There's no recoil from using it, and so it has turned into my like gaming of choice keyboard. But I so prefer that clickiness of like telling
Yeah.
me that I've actually like hit the key, which I figured
Up
out.
to my own devices, give me a typewriter, dude. Just like,
No, dude.
but it ruins video. So this one's pretty. Like, let's see if you can hear it. I don't,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, it's not too bad. But it's like I can press it softer. That's like me really hitting it.
Yeah, just hammering on it. Like,
Yeah.
Wow.
they're so padded nowadays. Like, I was doing the G915 Logitech, which was the low profile.
Yeah.
Ooh, that does have a
I
nice
think
crisp.
I think this is a similar model to that.
Yeah. And,
That's nice. Yeah, I
okay,
like that.
This is a weird thing.
This is the real stuff authors talk about when they hang out. What keyboard do you use?
Do you use a wrist rest?
No.
Yes.
Oh, get better with your life. Yeah, Jess knows.
And I use it as a wrist rest as well, not just.
Fair.
My keyboard's low profile though. Like it really isn't very.
Not going to do with anything.
Maybe. Yeah. Interesting. Maybe I should get one.
To be fair, what I was looking for there, when I was over there
That's
in
where I
the
lift weights.
background hiding, was I decided to treat myself. Right, there's a Kickstarter for Ore keys, WE keys. They looked fantastic. They looked and they are literally copper
Advertising
keys.
a hell of a thing.
Yeah, I know, but the keys are metal sprayed so they're copper coloured. And they looked fantastic. They're clicky as all. They look great. And because of the speed I type, yes, that was not a good idea to be typing metal that fast. Especially not with the base being metal as well. It was like,
Sorry. Are you claiming that you were typing so fast that the metal began to heat up?
No. Just that
No.
my fingers were like,
Oh, okay. I just was like, no, I'm getting off the train. Just type so fast that his keys begin to like contain heat. Sparks are flying.
You ever jammed your fingers?
Yeah.
How about, okay, so like what? And the average word is 4 letters. So divide that by 2. So that's 2 times, and you're doing 12,000 a day. That's 24,000 clicks in a finger a day.
I'm sorry. 12,000 words a day?
my record is
I-
21,579. So that
Andrew,
was the
I
day.
really.
I went
Jess,
back in that night, and Chrissy was like, "How did it go?" Because I was finishing off the book, and I was like, "I will finish it today." And I went in, and she was like, "Did you finish?" I was like, "Words, no good, no word, just brain shut down."
I really want you to do a picture, and it's like a cartoon of you, and it's just you with 2 fingers and just smoke coming off of them. And then underneath, there's going to be the regular version for people, and then the one for authors is, I did 12,000 words today. How did you do? And then just give that to authors only, and it just, oh.
Remember when I was new, I was talking to Steve from Athon before I was writing with them, but he was just giving me some advice, and he was like, well, how much do you write? And at the time I said, well, I do Stephen King's 2,000 words a day. Steve looked at me and he said, oh, so you're not serious yet? And I went home and like stared at a wall, right? Because like my trad professors have been like, you doing 2,000 words a day, you're doing more than like most authors, like you're crushing it. And then I went home and was like, ah!
I think
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's definitely the trad side. Like I don't think they're coming close.
No.
In
No, you tell trad people you're doing 2,000 words a day in most instances. I think it's shifting a little bit, but like 5 years ago, they're like, wow. Like Stephen King was like a freak for doing that at the time.
Our mutual friend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I had to talk to him, and I was like, oh yeah, like, I have to, I was talking about writing. He's like, I sit down and I know exactly what I'm going to write about, and then I write about that. I was like, okay. He's like, so like, it's like a good day is like 2,000 words. I'm like, okay. The next time you ask that, I should just be like, are you serious yet?
I don't think you can question Sunday Times best-selling author Ryan Cahill anymore. You know, he's too locked in now.
Oh, we
Dude,
totally can.
do you know what the
No, I
Sunday
don't.
Times has?
Sunday?
The Sun Girls. So I'm not exactly going to see it as a reputable source of news.
I don't know. That's you guys over the pond. I don't know anything about it. I think he also got USA. I think it's USA and Sunday Times.
But no, he is a very accomplished writer. He does write
he's
a
doing
damn
it.
good story, but it still means I'm going
But we will sass him. But that's sacred right.
Yeah, like $20.
He did
upgrade on a flight. I heard that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, it was really funny. So on my return flight, I had just a logistical nightmare on this trip. Some of which was my fault. Some of which was British Airways is the worst airways ever invented.
Airlines, obviously.
Well, yeah. I was using them together. So between the two of them, it was a bad time. Oh wait, did you hear why? Did I tell you the story of why I missed my flight to go see Ryan?
No.
So I was flying to see Ryan. I was meeting him in Dublin. I was flying Aer Lingus, which I've never flown before, and flying him out of LA. It was like a nighttime flight. I made it to the airport. I went to the bar. I plopped down and I got a drink. Time to, looked at my ticket. Said, okay, great. When the time came, got up, walked over, made it to my gate, only to discover that the flight had left without me. Because European carriers, their boarding pass is gate closing time. American carriers are boarding time. So I looked at the thing, did not read what the time was, just read the time, went, okay, cool, great, awesome. Showed up as the gate closed. And they were like, nope. And I was like, oh, but also, why? Why would you tell people not when to be there, but when to be there? But like, I don't, it's wrong, I hate it. Anyway.
Over here, what we do is we either treat you as an adult. That's by the by.
That's not. No, it's they don't give you gates. It's it's miserable.
It's because we actively hate you.
Yes,
there's no beating around the bush. There's no trying to hide it. When in America, where people have a nice day, it's like in England and Europe, we don't say that because we don't want you to have a nice day. We hate you preemptively.
Just stare at you until you leave the store with the products you bought, so that we can be in peace once again.
You don't schedule a doctor's appointment based on what time it ends. You schedule it based on what time it starts. I just don't understand the logic.
Because then people would have to hang about until everybody was on board, as opposed to, no, we're leaving now. You if you're not there.
Great. Awful.
I will say, I'll beat you with one with American Airlines from when I was flying back from Florida from NINC last year, right? So first time I've really flown with American Airlines much, and I'm flying from Florida to Charlotte, I think it is, and then from Charlotte to London to Newcastle, which is my local airport. So I'm on the flight, flying from Florida to Charlotte, and I've paid for the internet access, and I get an email through, American Airlines, because you didn't turn up for your flight, we've now cancelled your ongoing flights. I am on the flight. So I'm texting their help, and they're going, oh, well, when you land, sort it out. Go and see them. They'll sort it out for you. Okay, right, great. Stress levels, So I get there, I run through, finally fight the way through the crowd to the complaints desk, and they go, oh, right, well, you hadn't turned up for the flight, though. I was like, how did you think I got here? I was on the flight. Here is the boarding pass that shows I was on the flight. Oh, right. Well, I suppose we'll have to get you on the next flight then. Yes, I'd quite like you to do that, thank you. They go, all right, well, the thing is that we've got 2 flights leaving to London. One is at like 4 o'clock, say, or whatever it was that was my flight, and one is at 8 o'clock. Right. So we've cancelled your flight. Come again? Oh, well, what we're doing is we've consolidated the 2 flights into one. Right. We've given your seat away. This still sounds like a you problem. Well, we can sort this out for you. We can get you on the flight. Okay, right. You're not going to be business class, though, and it's going to cost a little extra. No, it isn't. But okay, fine. I've paid for business class. I will sort this out with British Airways later on, because they're the carrier I've booked through. Fine, just get me the So I fly, and I land. I'm warned that I may well I might miss my connecting flight. But because of the time, this is because they've cancelled the earlier flight, and I'm now on the later one. I might miss the connecting flight to get home, which by this point is like 20 odd hours after I've set off, and I don't sleep on a plane, so I am like, and we land 52 minutes before takeoff of my next flight. I'm like, yes, brilliant. I get off, and there's somebody waiting there who says, if you need assistance to get through to your next flight, oh yes, I identify myself. Yes, this is the flight. And she looks at it and looks at me, goes, If you could just sit over there and I'll be with you in a few minutes. Right, but we've got to get for the flight. Yeah, just sit over there. Somebody comes over with a security guard, and I'm like, this isn't a good sign. And they argue for a little bit, and they're helping everybody else, and I get up and I go over and I'm like, look, no offense, but I need to get to a different terminal here. This is like 20-minute trip across. I'm getting really worried about the flight. Which is when they explained to me, along with said security guard, that they actually didn't think I was going to make the flights. They already gave my seats away preemptively, nearly an hour before the flight. And at this point, this is last year when there's been a massive security and system snafu in London airports and European airports. So everything is booked. So I get through, I see British Airways, who says, right, okay, I'll take you across to American Airlines. We'll get this sorted for you. So sorry, sir, because this has been cancelled twice by their side already. An American Airlines response when I get to them at the front, and I've gone through all of this, I'm stressed to oh yeah, there's no flights. Come again? There's no flights I can get you on. So what should I do? There's no flights. I have paid for this. This is your job to fix this. Fix it. And the woman goes, oh, well, I don't know, just get a taxi, I guess. It's a 7-hour drive. Well, it's okay, just get the taxi and bill us.
That's
That's
not
it.
the point.
That was the entirety. I even had to explain to them that I need to get my suitcase. If I'm going to make my own way from here, I need to get my suitcase. And she's like, oh, yeah, you will. How? How do I do this? Oh, I don't know. Well, it's probably at the other terminal, Terminal 5, because that's where you were going to be flying from. So we will have sent your suitcase through. Oh, what do you want me to do? How? How do I get my suitcase? It has gone to a different terminal, which I no longer have access to, thanks to your up. How do I get my suitcase out? Oh, you want us to sort it? And at this point, the BA staff that have come across to take me across are just like, okay. They walk across and he's like, on my shoulder, he's like, can I take care of this for you? Can we take you across and can we get... It's like, yes, please, before I hurt somebody. So I will never fly American Airlines again, given the choice. Not because of the snafu, which is understandable despite the stupidity, but because of the whole
way it was handled. Yeah.
Yeah.
All I can say is Delta would never. That's,
I haven't flown Delta yet. Nice.
My understanding is they are better inside of the U.S. Like, they're not as competitive on their international flights. But inside the U.S., their customer service is, like, by far best. Especially if you, like, have status with them. They'll, like, bend over backwards for you. One time I was going to New York for Thanksgiving, and my mom offered to book the flight for me. This was many years ago. She had a bunch of points. She's like, I'll book it for you. And I was like, okay. And we were having like a family thing. And my mother and I disagreed on which day I should fly up. I had some work to do, so I wanted to come up later. She wanted me to come up earlier. I thought we agreed that I would come up later. She books the flight. I'm like, great, amazing, thank you. 2 days before when I think my flight is, my mom's like, are you all packed? I want to be packed now. That'd be crazy. It's crazy behavior. I go to bed. Next morning, I wake up 7 a.m. I have a text from my mother. Did you make your flight? Oh. Pull up the email. Sure enough, the flight was 7 a.m. today, not 7 a.m. tomorrow. So I call my mother, who's already in New York, and I was like, hey, so I was under the impression that we were doing it tomorrow. She's like, no, you need to be here today. And I was like, I missed my flight. And she was like, well, you need to fix it. She was real mad, right? Understandably. So I call Delta, and I get this lovely black grandmother who lived in Georgia on the phone. And she is like, honey child, how can I help you today? And I was like, oh, I'm saved. And I was like, I need to be in New York by Thanksgiving. My mom booked the flight. I got the day wrong. I'm so sorry. Is there anything you can do? She's like, let me put you on hold. I'm on hold for like 5 minutes. She comes back and she goes, sweetie child, someone has been praying for you. She's like, can you get to LAX by 4 p.m.? I was like, yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Whatever you need. Well, so my mother doesn't kill me. She's like, okay, phenomenal. I have gotten you on the 4 p.m. flight out of LAX and I've upgraded you to first class and there's no charge. And I was like, wow, thank you. So I call my mom back and my mom's like, what? And I'm like, all right, I'm flying in tonight. I'll be there. Everything's gonna be fine. I'm not missing anything. She's like, how much did it cost you? I was like, it was free. She's like, what? I was like, yeah, no, they were like so fine. They didn't care. And I was like, there's one other thing though. She's like, what? I was like, they upgraded me to first class for the flight. And the silence was just like, then my dad just starts laughing in the background. Yeah. My dad just starts cackling. Like, at that point, I'd never flown first class in my life before that time, right? That was the very first time I flew, and it was because I missed a flight, and they were just like, yeah, just have first class, whatever. And my parents were both like, you never learn lessons. Like, this is, and but that's Delta.
No, Mika knows.
I was like, cool, and I will fly them forever now. Anyway, that's why this podcast today is brought to you by Delta.
Yeah.
Bastard. No, it's going to be interesting because so we're all going to Lit RPG Con, right, this year?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. I should
So
probably turn up.
yeah, well, yeah, you're kind of like running the thing. Um, little. But no, that's gonna be awesome because
Be a good time.
so, huh?
Said it'll be a good time.
Yeah, it will be. It's gonna be. You know what? I think it's a lot of fun for anyone who's into lit RPG. Like you can
Oh,
have an
yeah.
absolute blast. It's also if you like indies, anything. I think that you're just gonna have a great time because like lit RPG has expanded so widely. It's massive now. But no, that's gonna be definitely a ton of fun. And then both of you fellas, you have a bunch of signings coming up because you got books coming out. You got July, Jez, right? When's your
Yep.
date?
30th of June. 30th of June.
June. So
Basically July, pre-July.
You know what? June, July. It's the same thing. It's warm time.
I know you've got a signing tour as well just before that, so you're going to be actually traveling on those dates. So you know what you could do? You could do me a favor. You could do me a solid. When you're doing your signing tour, sign some of my books if they're in the store as well.
We just have a communal signing
Just
agreement.
defacing everyone else's books.
Oh, we've got something.
Huh? Yep.
Oh,
Who does it? Is it Sanderson and Rothfuss? Is that who does it to each other's books? Sanderson has somebody whose books he always signs if he finds them, and I can't remember who it is, but he was posting videos of him signing somebody else's books.
because he calls it something. It's like graffiti, but it's brand feedy or something.
Yeah. It's a good bit. Hey, yeah. When are you gonna get Brian? Quest Academy in stores so I can start signing those for Brian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm working on that. I'm definitely.
That's what
working
I
on
want. That's what I want to be able to do is to face Brian books anywhere I go.
that. So for those that don't know, as we said earlier on, I am actually a publisher as well as an alcoholic, as a writer. And, one of our
Same, a little
authors,
different.
Brian J. Norton.
Same,
was
a
that?
little different.
It's the same difference, yeah. One of our authors, Brian J. Norton, wrote Quest Academy, and it's fantastic. And he's fantastic as well at times. When he's drunk, he likes to tell people to die in a fire, but that's a totally different story. But Brian is one of these people that, because we're friends, we have to pick on each other. So if we can all get Brian's books into stores, it will be literally just so that we can do things. And we can. That's all. Because this is male friendship at its peak, is abusing each other in fun and interesting ways.
Wait, Jez, do you know the story about Brian and I?
Which one?
Well, do you know how that he made me a character in Quest Academy, and then made me a giant dork? Yeah, and it was supposed to be a peace offering, and then he just made me a giant dork. So to get back into my dedicated Ironbound to him,
Nice.
which says, to my mortal rival, Brian J. Norton, I hope you choke on Quest Academy and caviar. So this has been a recurring bit between the two of us for a while now.
Yeah.
But he's starting to get DMs from people who have read Ironbound and been like, hey man, there's this author who's like gunning for you. And Brian has to be like, Quest Academy book 4, page, chapter 13 or whatever it is. And they're like, oh, that guy. That's why I want his books in stores. I want to go around and sign them all for him.
It's shit like that we like to do to each other. It's the good friendship time. I've got to say, I am notorious and terrible for it. That whenever Matt Dinnerman's doing one of his signings or he's standing up and he's doing, and Matt, if you get to know Matt, anybody here, you'll find he's a lovely, lovely guy and he's really funny and he's really laid back. But when he does the signings, when he speaks to people, he's very respectful for a while until he gets bored of it, but he's very sensible. And the thing is, he has this cult following who are all absolutely love him. And they'll all be standing there, and so usually a big semicircle, oh, Matt, oh, yes. And he'll be talking to them very sensibly. And when we haven't seen each other yet, I always make a point of running up behind him and kicking him in the back of the knees. He'll be in the middle of a chat with them all. He's like, ah! And he knows by now, he turns around and like, Jesus!
I have witnessed this. Yep. Matt is a little chaotic creature, and I enjoy him immensely. He loves to mess with people, and it's a good time. Where has Michael Chatfield gone?
He's just given up on us.
We're an hour 40 in, and he's like, you know what? Good enough.
I mean, we should probably apologize to everybody that came on expecting a sensible talk and to talk about career.
The advertising says it's not that at all. We are, no. This is just about the people.
Talked about our careers and why they should
We have.
be over, but
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and I mean, in some ways, I feel like the only career advice you can really give is that luck. The harder you work, the more dice rolls you get. Right.
Yeah.
All of us have a dice roll that came up 6s at some point, but the truth is that like you had to try a bunch of different things. You went through a lot of adversity until you found the thing that worked for you, but you just kept trying, right? Like everything else is like second to that.
It's very much a case of luck is when preparedness meets opportunity. And you throw enough shit at the wall, some of it will stick. Both of those sides are very, very accurate. Oh, Chatfield's decided to come back and join us.
Ah, welcome back, sir.
It does stick, yes.
Well, I feel like we should probably set our good friend Jazz free. So, Jazz, where can people find you if they want to? And they should.
In the bar. You can find generally I drink rum. Thank you very much, people.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I met Jez in a bar. This all tracks.
That's the first place that Jez and I had a good conversation, and that continued for 14 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just stress this one before we go into there. Let's roll this back slightly. We actually met at a conference, at an authors' conference, where you go to discuss the trade of being an author.
At a bar.
No. We were in this talk for at least 3, maybe 4 minutes before Chatfield went, sitting next to me, having never met the guy before, went, I think he's just repeating all the stuff he said last year. I wrote them all down, and showed me this little black book with all the things in, and I went, oh, that's great. Can I just ask you any questions? He went, yeah. Should we just go to the pub? And I went, yeah, let's go to the pub. And we got up and walked out, and never went back to the conference. And we just drank for the next 4 days straight in Madrid.
It was the first 15 minutes, I think it was like advertising for Facebook and something. And we were like, hey, how'd you advertise for Facebook? I'm like, oh, you just do these 3 things. And then just was like, drink. Because we had done
sounds like an author convention.
1-hour-long conversation in 15 minutes. And we're like, I don't think the guy had been talking for more than 10 minutes. And we're like,
yep, sounds like an author convention.
Yeah. And then we gathered all of the authors there. It was great.
Yeah, it was a heavy night. God, I remember that night. Well, no, more to the point, I don't. I remember bits of it, blurs, But yes, who I am Jez Cadgio. I am this is what you see and is what you get. I wrote the Underverse series, which is Brightblade as the first book. I wrote the Rise of Mankind series, which is Age of Stone as the first book. Arise, which is basically me in Greece. So please don't tell anybody about that. First is Arise Alpha. So, going for it. I also wrote Prototype and Artem, which shall never be discussed again. You can find me online.
Cyberpunk series, Amazon. Which if you like Cyberpunk, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah, it was fun. I just like winding people up. The best book in that series, it was written by 4 authors working together. We both wrote 2 books, which are all individual stories, but they all cross-pollinate. And the best of them all by far is Kev Sinclair's Rise of Oshbob. Wrote an orc mob boss basically, and it's the best. It's wonderful. You can find me on Amazon. You can find me on jezcadgio.com. You can find me Jez Cadgio Author on Instagram, on Facebook, and if you find me at the bar, mine's a rum. Thank you very much, and thank you, gentlemen, you wonderful beasts.
We'll see you very soon at Lit RPG Con.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And we'll have great fun, and we will have lots of terrible tales to tell.
As it goes. There's always a story to be told with authors. But everyone, thank you for coming. Hope you had a great time. Catch you on the next one.